Hello and welcome to the Caravan and Motorhome Club's online virtual club week, where I'm going to be talking to friends and colleagues to find out everything you'll need to know about touring this year and next. Welcome to your club week, and we are going to start at the very top with the man who knows it all, who's in charge of the whole thing, only the club's Director General, Mr. Nick Lomas, once again in his garden room. How are you, Nick?
Hello, Matt. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well indeed. You know, I do think of you very often. As soon as restrictions change, you know, I think of you there at home trying to sort of lead the team, and then the club as a whole really give the members an idea of what's happening, because so many sites, so many people involved. I'll be honest, I don't quite know how you do it, but you do it. How's it been for the last year for you?
Well, I think like all organisations, it's been quite frantic, really. But it's been also very engaging and energising to see everybody working so hard together, everybody pulling together as a team, working from home. And the site teams have got very, very accomplished now at opening and closing sites, amending bookings and so on. So it was difficult at first, but we're getting quite accomplished at the process now. So that's at least positive. But we're just really, really excited and buoyant about getting open for this next season. And in fact, we're already training our new recruits to work on the site network so that they will be fully up to speed and have all their training in advance. So when we open the site network, we'll be able to do it. And our main priority this year, our ambition, is that everything that can be open, we will open from the day it can open till the day it can't open. We want to provide the fullest service we possibly can for as long a season as we're possibly able to do so, and while it's safe to do so, because obviously the most important thing is that we all stay safe as well.
I mean, it's fascinating, isn't it, to kind of change our approach to time in a way. We used to think, right, the summer's the time when we do things, the winter's the time when we fix things and prepare and get ready. It sounds like from what you're saying, actually, as soon as lockdown comes in, that's when we change. That's when we decide, right, we prepare, we recruit, and we fix. And as soon as it's open, we make the most of it.
Yeah, that's right. We're doing some work over the winter ready for the season. We're trying to add extra pitches. We're doing some pitch refurbishments. We're refurbishing some motor van waste points and improving some electricity supplies. And we've got a handful of sites where we're trying to increase the number of pitches as well, because we do know when we reopen, we are going to be busy. You know, it is, as I've said before, it's a bit like a cork out of a bottle. People are so desperate to have a holiday and really looking forward to being able to get out in the great outdoors. They know it's a safe place to be where they can socially distance. And so as soon as we're safely able to open, we want to do that, and we want to be able to open with as much capacity as we possibly can.
Obviously, making sure the sites are COVID secure is a big part of the job. Is that over now? Have you done that, or are there still things that need to change on the sites so people can enjoy them safely?
Well, the basics are exactly the same. So, you know, we need to make sure we keep up social distancing, make sure we've got enhanced cleaning protocols and better hygiene procedures, and also that we allow people to check in or make bookings and check out, you know, in a contactless way to reduce the number of contacts. So all of that is fundamentally the same. But obviously we have refined the processes because we learned them very, very quickly, and indeed had to invent them very quickly last year. And so, of course, there are some improvements, but the fundamentals are the same. It's all about great cleanliness. It's about social distancing. And it's about making sure people, you know, have the opportunity to enjoy the open space that there is on a campsite and not come into contact with any more people than it's safe for them to do so.
Nick, people pay their membership with the expectation that they can use the sites all year round. The reality is they can't. So how do you approach that? Will there be refunds, partial refunds, opt-outs? How does it work?
Well, that's obviously been a very difficult situation, and one that we've thought very, very carefully about. Obviously, the club is a members club. It's owned by the members. So everybody who joins the club and pays their annual subscription owns a stake in it. And we thought very carefully about this, and the executive committee deliberated for a long time. And we really believed that the best thing in such a terrible crisis as this is that we ask people if they can continue to pay their subscription to do so, because that enables us to do what we've been doing. We've been running the club in the background. We've been sending everybody their magazine every month. We've been preparing for the new season. We've been working on the new site directory and handbook, which has gone out to most new members now, and to all the existing members, of course. So the club, essentially, in terms of all the services it provides, are exactly the same. We've also made sure that we've allowed people to book at least 1 year ahead all the time. In fact, now you can book all the way till the end of April of 2022, because we want people to have the benefit, if they're a member now, to be able to book and take advantage of that as a member in priority to people who come later, if you like. And what I have to say is that members have recognised that, and they've been incredibly supportive. And the combination of existing members renewing their membership and new members joining for the first time because they realise camping and caravanning is a really good way to spend time having a holiday, means that we actually ended last year with more members than we'd had since the very early part of the 2000s.
It's a really interesting time, isn't it? Because, we can't travel anywhere at the moment, but it feels like the first thing we'll be able to do is travel in a limited way in the UK. So staycation's a go-go. Like you say, when the cork pops out of the bottle, the first thing people are going to do is travel in the UK. So how do you deal with that? We heard about potentially increasing the capacity of some sites. We've seen pop-ups in some places. Is that what you're trying to get your head around? Are we going to need a lot more capacity?
Well, unfortunately, we only have so much land, and we only have so much permission in terms of planning consent to use it for caravans and motorhomes. But yes, the essential idea is we want to get all our sites open as soon as we can. We're trying to use all the space that we safely can on those sites. We're also trying to run temporary and pop-up campsites in a number of venues. So we're talking to landowners about doing that now. And we've also been working with people like the National Park authorities to allow us to open sites longer than they're normally allowed to open. So that means that we can extend the season for people and give them more opportunity to stay, even if we can't get them in the middle of July when it's the absolute peak. But we do want to do our absolute best to get everybody to have a holiday. Also, there are other things. Our teams, our local centres and groups, they're running rallies this year, and that's another opportunity for people to try and find a space, because obviously they run thousands of those events across the UK at different places. And our CL network, the sort of little gem sites of 5 caravans or motorhomes, they're obviously exclusive to members. So that's an added bonus that you can be sure that they're being saved for members, if you like. But also there are actually new CLs coming on all the time, and we've been adding more CLs even through the pandemic, because landowners and farmers and people in rural communities are really worried about the future, but also see that tourism income from caravanners and motorhomes is a really good way that they can help their local community. And also that's great for us because that provides more space for members, which is what we want.
Tell me about the market for outfits as well. Is there huge demand? Are prices going through the roof? Are they unobtainable at the moment, with so many people maybe considering this as an option?
I think it's a very difficult picture to fully understand this year. I know that the manufacturers in the UK are working really hard, and they're running their factories with COVID secure processes to mean that they are building and delivering to dealers new vehicles. We also know there's a lot of people looking at second hand and used, and also some people who are buying sort of as a family group to share. So I think there is quite a lot of demand. And it may be that you can't be absolutely sure of getting what you'd really like from a dealer unless you get in early once they do reopen. But of course, you can look online now and you can make those plans and you can telephone dealers. And indeed, you'll be able to talk, I'm sure, with people who are putting vehicles for sale, and be able to visit them as soon as the situation and lockdown allows you to do that. But yes, I think it is certainly going to be a very interesting and busy year for people buying vehicles, either new or used, or people thinking about different ways of getting into the pastime with the hire companies, for example. We know campervan and motorhome hire is also very buoyant at the moment.
Yeah, something in which the club is, not just dipped its toe into, got into in a big way with Experience Freedom. It's a, fantastic way to sample the life, isn't it? It's great.
That's right. And also we've increased the amount of sites on land that isn't used for touring for also our Experience Freedom offer. So yes, there are now more venues than ever before and more units than ever before that you can either hire as a member or for your friends and family as a member, so that you can stay on site in a socially distanced way with friends and family, and they can enjoy an outdoor holiday as well, yes.
Nick, you have to look into your crystal ball every so often to sort of plan the way ahead for all of us, for members. And, what do you see? Let us in on that. What do you see happening in the next couple of years that's crucial for us to understand?
I think what we'll definitely see is more people spending time in the UK. And I also think people will stay more local for a while. You don't have to drive 300-400 miles to have a great holiday. You can stay, go into the next county even and have a break. And so I think you'll see more people staying a little bit closer to home. I think in the early part of this year, clearly overseas travel is very, very uncertain. So I know some people do have ambitions to do that. And if they do want to travel, I think it's really important they think about booking, knowing that they're with somebody who's got an ABTA bond and that they can book a package holiday where they can be guaranteed on a full refund in that situation. And of course, that applies to the club, and we have been fully flexible on all our bookings and refunds wherever we can be. So, I think that's important to bear in mind. You've got to keep flexible. We don't know everything that's going to happen over the next year or two with the virus and what might carry on with it. But I think fundamentally what we do know is that people have fallen in love with Britain and the great outdoors in Britain again. I think we're appreciating our own country in a way that we haven't done for a long time. And I think that is very positive for our pastime. And I think it's very positive for everybody who enjoys, spending time in the outdoors, getting out to the beaches and like surfing or kayaking or cycling or walking in the beautiful countryside. So I think we can see a great future for the British tourism industry and the British tourism offer from Brits as soon as it's safe for us to open. I think more medium term, the opening up of borders again and inbound tourism and people traveling through different countries remains a little bit more uncertain, and it will take a little bit more time, I think, before vaccines and the protocols for how you get tested when you travel and all of those things are sort of consistent and organized across countries. But it's part of the human condition, I think, to travel and to experience new places and to enjoy different cultures. So I think the very long-term view is that providing you do things environmentally safe and you do them that respects the environment and the country that you're visiting, I think tourism has a very, very bright and buoyant future.
I think members of the club have always known that the UK is a great place to be, and it's like the rest of the country's catching up with us. Really, I just wondered, in terms of the membership, so many people, and it's been such a tricky time. I wondered if there was anything, now you've got the chance, that you wanted to say directly to them.
I certainly would, Matt. I'd really like to say to everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for your support of the club this last year. And thank you for booking in your thousands for this year's season. We're really, really grateful for all the support that you've given us. And we want to pay that back by giving you the renowned service quality that we aspire to, with brilliant maintenance and care and attention on site. And our whole team are positively bursting with being able to work with you and to welcome you onto sites and to talk to you in our contact centre when the time is right for us to be able to do that. We really, really appreciate all the support you've given us this last year. And it will mean that the club maintains its strength and its security for the future. And really, we want to serve you for a very long time going forward. And we're delighted to be able to do that.
Well, Nick, it's lovely to catch up with you. It's great to be here for Club Week. And I look forward to the moment when we can shout wagons roll again and get out to these sites and make the most of this country and overseas as well, all the fantastic opportunities that the club offers.
That's right. And I would agree with that, Matt. Thank you very much indeed. And it's been a pleasure to talk to you again today.